I can't tell you if it smells bad, it's not bad. It is what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a special treat for you today. Head coach of the Super Bowl, the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, none other than Coach Bruce Arians. How are you, Coach?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, brother. Doing fantastic. We had our first practice, and the guys are getting ready.
Coaches, it really is an honor to speak with you. When I was a player, I always thought communication was the key. I wanted a coach that I could communicate well with. And I remember speaking to Plaxico Burress, my former teammate. You coached him, and we were watching you, and he said, man, BA is my guy. And I was like, what is it? What makes him so special? And he was like, man, he just understands me. That being said, how are you able to effectively communicate with players and coaches with all these different type of personalities they have?
Yeah, I don't know. That's always been easy for me. I just pride myself on being a heck of a good teacher, and every student learns a different way. I do come from a background of a lot of the similar guys, from the streets. And so that part of it's always easy, but the communication, you have to listen first. You have to listen to what the guy's asking you and talking about before you can actually teach them.
Coach, speaking of being a teacher, I think there are a lot of people who can learn a lot of things from you, man. Quite frankly, you are a massive inspiration to me and to quite a few people across the world. And the reason why I say that is because there's been so much talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, but you don't talk about that. You actually live it, like you walk it. Your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coach, all Black people. You have women on your coaching staff, like the things that you've been able to do, and you've been very, very successful at. Quite frankly, it is one of the most amazing things that I've ever seen. So talk to me about that mentality that you have and what keeps you going? What keeps you, being able to do these things that you've been doing?
Well, you got to have ownership, first of all, that buys in, and the Bucs are like the most inclusive organization I've ever been a part of. And, but yeah, I think as players, you need to hear from different voices, some that look like you, some that don't look like you, but you think of the best teachers you ever had, they were probably female. And if you know what you're talking about and you can teach it, who cares if you're Black, white, man or woman? If you're helping me become, every player keeps asking, how you going to make me better? If you can answer, this is how I'm gonna make you better, they're all in, and so it really doesn't matter what they look like or what they sound like. Anybody and everybody can help if they know what they're teaching.
You're right about a player. It's all about getting better. And, when I look at your team and I look at the leadership from the players, obviously I think of what Tom Brady has brought. As a leader, how has he made players get better as individuals and respond to adversity throughout the season that you faced, obviously winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah, last year was very hard on him, because we had no OTAs, no training camp. He was still learning how to get to work when he first got here, where the meeting rooms were. And after 20 years of being the guy, he's introducing himself to everybody. So he had to learn the offense. He had to learn a lot of different things before he could really become the leader that he is. And but I played against Tom a bunch. You know how he was, how competitive he is, but I never knew how good he was with other players, especially younger players, taking them under his wing, talking to me. A coach can say, man, you're not pumping your arms coming out of your break. Your hands are going dead. Yeah. Tom says, hey, man, when you come out of that break, I need to have your arms pumping. Okay, Tom. And they do it, right? Yeah, they're doing it like I say, man, I've been telling you that for 2 months. Right? But it's different coming from when your guys, it's the same when JPP talks to them young defensive linemen, hey, use your hands this way. Those guys that have it and been there and done it, players listen to them.
Speaking of the quarterback that you have there, Tom Brady, last year there was a little, let's call it a little controversy about you publicly admitting that your quarterback could have played better in a particular game. Now, as a former player, I got to be honest with you, this was something that we really appreciate, the fact that you seem so willing to treat everybody equal. Now, was it just a matter of you trying to demonstrate that to your team, or was it just the reporter asked you a question and you just gave him a direct answer?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to ask me a question, I'm going to give you an honest answer. And I can't tell you if it smells bad, it's not bad. It is what it is. And yeah, just more being honest, and it's always been that way. So it's never been a problem. And some people tried to make it a problem last year, and Tom and I used to get some big laughs out of it.
Everybody always talks about and asks about how players get ready for the season. How do they prepare? But you've been doing it a long time, Coach. Very successful, very respected. How do you prepare each year for a new season, new challenges? What are some of the things you do?
Yeah, for me, it's going back and looking at how did we prepare for Green Bay the first time versus the second time? When we failed, what was that week of preparation like? Did we overwork them? I go back to, in Arizona, we were 13-3, lost the championship game, and man, we killed them in the spring. We killed them in camp, and we had a ton of injuries. And I think this year, going back and looking at that, I didn't even want to see the veterans in OTAs. All right, you can come to minicamp. We brought the 50 young guys in, coach those guys in OTAs, get some depth, and then bring those guys back when they're fresh. And we had our guys know what work looks like. So I don't really have to say much. If they turn on the tape, Levante or JPP or say, hey, man, that's not good enough. Tom's going to say, that's not good enough. And usually they say it right there on the field. So my job's easy. But for me, it's just going back and looking at what we might have done right, what we might have done wrong, how we can do it better.
Last one for you, Coach. I've been part of 2 Super Bowl winning teams. We were not able to repeat. Now, we all know how difficult that is to do in the NFL. As a matter of fact, nobody has been able to do that since the 2003, 2004 New England Patriots, led by your quarterback, Tom Brady. Now, what exactly is it that you guys are doing this year? I mean, there's so many things that can happen over the course of the season, injuries, people leave in free agency, but you so far kept the core of your team intact. What are you guys doing this year to be able to see if you can maintain and do something that, quite frankly, is unprecedented in recent memory?
Yeah, we're very, very fortunate that we got our whole coaching staff back. Normally you win a Super Bowl, you lose a couple of guys.
Yep.
We got our coaching staff back. We got our top 30 guys back. So for us, it's just a matter of embrace it, man. Yeah, you got the targets on your back. Embrace it. Let's go. But you got to hunt. You can't be the hunted. You got to still hunt. And for us, it's going to work every day and still hunting.
Man, listen, Coach, we really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. It's an honor. People are massive fans of you out here in the UK. Man, keep on doing what you're doing, man. We love you, Coach.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys, man. Thank you.